Teachers, yes, y'all, we're going to be talking about teachers today. We're going to be talking about good teachers. We're going to be talking about bad teachers. We're going to be talking about indifferent teachers. I'm going to tell you why teachers have the attitude that they have. I'm going to dispel some myths about teachers today. It's 9. My counter says 2. I lie to you not. We always have this problem in the morning. But you know what? Brother Kadeem, salam, shalom, hotep, my brother. I'm going to believe you and your counter, and we going to get started. Teaching. They say prostitution is the oldest profession in the world. I beg to differ. Teaching is the oldest profession in the world. Teaching. Here's what people do not understand about teaching. In order to be a successful teacher, it would behoove you to master your subject matter or be on your way to mastering your subject matter. Mind you, I live in Houston. There's a whole lot of teachers in Houston. But what I found funny is the fact that hardly any of these teachers have mastered their subject matter. And the ones that have mastered their subject matters, y'all don't go to them. And you don't go to them because they cost too much. They require too much. Well, that's what a master teacher does. A master teacher stretches you, makes your mind think. That is what teachers are there for. A teacher, teaching is a skill. A lot of people forget about that. They immediately want to go into teaching. Stop. Teaching is a skill. And it is not only a skill, you have to be a chameleon to teach properly. See, here's the difference in a good teacher and a bad teacher. Or shall I say a productive teacher and a non-productive teacher. Here's the difference. A productive teacher has such grasp of their subject matter that they can change themselves to fit the student. It's called the fluidity factor. A teacher should be like water, should be like fluid, able to fill any vessel that it is poured into. You throw a stone into a vessel, it might even break the vessel. Anything hard can break the vessel. So anything rigid runs the possibility of breaking the mind. An unproductive teacher will never change their teaching style to accommodate anybody. All of the students have to change themselves and their learning practices, which is very dangerous. Very dangerous. When everybody else has to change themselves to fit this one thing, it becomes unproductive. It is not as easy for everybody else to change than for one person that should be able to change to change. Teachers are artists. Teachers are the most creative people on the planet. And they have to be creative because they have to, you ready for this one? They have to disseminate information as clearly as possible. Meaning, there's another word for this, and it's called transparency. My teacher, my master teacher, was so transparent with me. It was like learning. It was like learning through pure glass. There was no coloring of the glass. There was no texture in the glass. It was just clear, disseminated information that I could understand on the level that I was. See, that's another thing about teachers. Teachers should understand that there are levels to teaching. You don't just teach everything at once. You can't. It doesn't work like that. Some things build on other things that build on other things. And to be quite honest, as a teacher, in the beginning, I almost have to lie to you to get you to learn. I almost have to go, yeah, that's right, knowing is dead wrong. But for your level of learning, at that point, it is perfectly correct. When I'm teaching somebody horse stance, for instance, for Tai Chi, if they're just beginning, I can't expect them to have 90-degree angles on their knees. I can't expect them to know what straight is. I have to adjust them until their internals understand what their straight correction is. Because a lot of people stand straight leaning forward. They really believe that lean forward, they're straight. But that comes from non-observation of yourself. So I have to reset that gyroscope. So in the beginning, it's not so much about whether your knees are proper, whether your feet are exactly where they're supposed to be. At that point, I'm just trying to reset your gyro. I just need you to know what straight is. You know, we can get to the feet being at a 90-degree angle, the knees being just slightly further apart than the shoulders. We can get to all that. But in the beginning, I just need you to stand up straight. Now, a year into horse stance, and I tell you something, and you go, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong for a year. And I go, Why you let me do it wrong? I didn't let you do it wrong. For your level, you were right. It would be like me condemning a first grader for not writing in cursive. You ain't learned that yet. So I can't hold you accountable. Because there are levels to this shit. Yeah, you have to reset people's gyros. Because they're all wacky. They're all out of whack. People think they standing up straight and they're not. People think they're relaxed and they're not. You know, Ali, it's funny that you say that. I love the yoga instructor who taught me in front of a mirror. Really? Because I went 3 years in Tai Chi without ever looking in a mirror. The difference in teaching styles. My teacher didn't want me to rely on my eyes and that mirror. Not to say that your teaching style is wrong, because I can't say that. It worked for you, which means it was productive. It wouldn't have worked for me. And this is where the beauty of teaching, the art of teaching comes in. The teacher understanding the mind that is in front of it. Because your teacher took an approach that my teacher would not have taken. And I couldn't have handled your approach. Because I would have been more concerned about looking in the mirror than self-correcting me from my eye inward. If that makes sense. But again, the beauty of teachers, the artistic ability of teachers. Now, teacher, okay? And teachers good teachers come in all ages. Let me say that. I have had children teach me some of the greatest lessons in my entire life. And if I was some uptight ass adult who thought children didn't know shit, I would not have some of the clarity that I have in my life today. Everybody can teach you something. Even the dull-witted have their stories. You never know where your next truth will be heard from if you're not open to the truth and not what you see in front of you. That's how a lot of messengers get missed. You know, somebody, well, Fee, you know, if you could just cut out the cussing in your lives, I would watch them. Well, my lives aren't for you. Because I understand something again about teaching. I am one person on this screen talking to this. My counter says 13 people, but I'm going to say it's more. I don't know you individually. So as someone who is learning or listening to this, because every time you listen to somebody, you're learning from them. I just want you to know that. You're going to incorporate something that they're saying into your being one way or another, because that is just the nature of being human. That's why you're just a collection of whole bunch of people, whether you agree with their ideology or not. Because even agreeing or not agreeing programs you with their thought. Yes, Brother Daoud, I did go on the show. It was last week, as a matter of fact. He's trying to orchestrate getting me back because there were a whole bunch of listeners. My people came through. But back to this. I'm one person. I don't know everybody, so I can't conform myself. So that means you as a person have to conform to the video. And yes, I speak to keep a lot of people away. I do. Man, y'all don't understand. I cuss on a regular to keep most people away from my videos. Because my videos they're not easily tolerated by people who have certain linguistic convictions. Damn, I like the way I said that. I think I'm gonna put that shit on a t-shirt. I have linguistic convictions. And on the back it's gonna say motherfucker. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing. Yeah. And I keep them away for a reason. They're not the ones I'm looking for. See, the ones I'm looking for look over the cussing. They don't even hear that part. As a matter of fact, it tickles the shit out of them. That's where I'm going to find my tribe. Because my tribe is going to speak my language. If I change my language, I change the signal which means I change the type of person that I will attract. I'm not trying to attract everybody. I don't want prudes. I don't need prudes on my island. I don't want prudes on my team. I want people, badass motherfuckers that are not afraid to speak their mind the way it needs to be spoken. Because here's the thing. They call them curse words. They're called curse words. Who you cursing? Because to curse somebody means you put a spell on them. I put a spell on you. Ooh, you're mine. I put a spell on you. It's that time of season for me, y'all. It's my favorite time of season, and then from Halloween, I go downhill from there. So enjoy my fallness, because when winter hits, I'm... That's me. That's me. I go down. I go with the planet, man. I'm going down. I don't own any of this music. 'Cause you ain't around, baby. My whole world's upside down. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I channeled some shit right there. Back to teaching. This is another part of teaching that people don't understand. Laughter relaxes the mind. Laughter is a form of hypnotism. A lot of people don't even think about that shit. Laughter is a form of hypnotism. Laughter heals the body. So that means when you're laughing, your body is wide open. Your psyche is wide open. It is relaxing itself. It's relaxing itself. So when you're watching your programming, because I'm going to show you something about teaching that they know. So when you're watching your programming, say The Simpsons, Married with Children, y'all remember those shows, right? And the whole time we were, ha 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 ha, oh shit, that was funny, ah, ha 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 ha. They were programming us. Right then, right there, to accept an idea. And they got the idea in through laughter. People wonder why my classes, why I have people laughing so much in class. Because if I have you laughing, your mind is at least relaxed, so it can take in these ideas. Even if they don't stick at that point in time, they're free floating in there. And it just takes a trigger to pull it out. Just a trigger. I'll show you. Ready? 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. You finish it. Right. Pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. When did that commercial come out, and how long has that information been free floating in your mind? That's somebody else's thought. Free floating in your head to sell you burgers. How about this? I'm going to give a slogan. Exactly. I'm going to give a slogan, and you put in who it is. Just do it. Nobody knows who does that? Just do it. Nike. Thank you. Come visit the mouse. And there are two Mises. I don't go to either one of them. But there are two of them. Come visit the mouse. Somebody else's ideas floating around in your fucking head. Yeah, Disney World. Or Chuck E. Cheese. The Golden Arches. The Crown. The little redhead, freckle-faced white girl in the blue dress with the white stripes. It's finger-licking good. This particular entity used to wear, she doesn't wear it anymore because they changed the marketing. She actually has a perm now for some reason. But she used to be a dark-skinned woman who wore a red handkerchief with white polka dots on top of it. Aunt Jemima. Now she got a perm. They've changed the complete marketing of Aunt Jemima. They're even changing the idea of what Aunt Jemima used to be. Because when I was a kid, you know, Aunt Jemima was basically, you know, one of the slave women that took care of the kids. She was in the kitchen. You know, now she's Auntie Aunt Jemima. When the fuck did that happen? Yep, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. You got it. Oh, better yet, how about a Siamese cat? How about that symbol? They don't even have to market this to you anymore. All you have to do is flash it. Because they've entered that you've heard these enough over the years that they taught it to you and it stuck. This is somebody else's ideas roaming around in your big ass head. But you don't understand how you got programmed. Not sure what that was. We're gonna watch it. Come on, y'all. Come on. Work with me. Teachers. Teachers have to be multilinguistic. Everybody doesn't speak the same idiocy, but they do speak the same language. And when I mean idiocies, those are the little cultural things that take place in the same language that mean different things. For instance, me and a sister talking and I say, I'm going back to the crib. You know, somebody who doesn't understand our idiocies would think that how's this big ass bitch gonna put herself in a baby crib? That is not what I taught. That's not the idea that she has in her head that understands what I'm saying as in I'm going back to the crib. My sister understands exactly what I'm saying because it's not a crib that she sees in her head, it's her house or my house. Whereas this other person over here hears me says I'm going back to my crib and they're thinking this bitch gonna get her big ass in a baby crib. No, and you should be slapped twice. That's what you get for eavesdropping. Idiocies. And maybe we should start, idiocies is what got the American Indians to actually help America win World War II. The language in which they spoke was so full of idiocies that they couldn't break the language. Like if we, black people, spoke in our idiocies, a lot of people would have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, even though we're speaking the same language. It's like going to Jamaica and people don't understand patois. How? It's just sped up English. It's sped up and inferred English. And what I mean by sped up, they're speaking faster than your ear hears English. But they're speaking English. They don't have to put on the backs of words because some things are just understood in their idiocy. So your mind, speaking American, if you can speed up your ear, means relax your mind. And just think, they're speaking country grammar. You can follow patois. But as a teacher, I can see this. I can appreciate it. But I can see where other people couldn't because they don't have that fluid base. So now I ask you, what's your teacher? Is your teacher productive for you, or is your teacher hindering you? Now here's the other thing about levels of teachers, because people say, oh, Fee, you should be able to teach anybody. Yeah, but I don't fucking want to. And as a teacher, I have that right. Yeah, as a student, you get to choose your teacher. But as a teacher, I too get to choose my students. And if I don't want you, I don't have to teach you. As a matter of fact, I can fuck your whole psyche up. But for the most part, I try to leave black people alone that can't handle me. Because I'm not an elementary school teacher. Even in our system that is so fucked up when it comes to teaching, even in our educational system, you have pre-K teachers, you have kindergarten teachers, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. Then you hop into a whole nother school. You come out of that elementary school building and you go to another school that's called junior high school or middle school. When I was a kid, it was called junior high school. Now it's called middle school. Okay. But that school usually only has 2 grade levels. Anybody ever wonder why that point only has 2 grade levels? And I'll tell you this, in 6th grade, kids are maturing. So for the next 2 years of that growth, they're taken away from the little ones and not put with the big ones because they're emotionally distraught. So you have 7th and 8th graders in one school by themselves while they go through this full-blown hormonal change that they're trying to get through. And those take special kind of teachers that can understand their struggle in trying to understand their bodies are changing. See, it's a whole nother idea to teach somebody shit externally while their bodies are changing. Y'all never thought about your junior high school teachers that way, did you? Then you have high school. This is your finishing school. This is where they're supposed to polish you off. Whole nother types of teachers. Because these teachers have to help you get it before you go out into the world. This is your last step. This is the last hoorah. This is the fine finish on that diamond or that sword. Pre-K teachers can't do that. High school teachers should be able to do that. You can't come into 12th grade going, let's learn our ABCs. Because even the 12th grader is going to look at you like, who the hell are you and why the fuck are you here? Because people who have mastered something aren't trying to go back to it because you a teacher. Find your lane and find your level and stick to it. Then they graduate high school. And a lot of people will say, now your education truly begins. Now, if they go to college, you got 4 years in your bachelor's program. 4 to 5 years in your bachelor's program. They call that undergrad. Which takes a certain type of teacher. Now you got your bachelor's degree. You want to move on. Now you're at a master's level. Do you think somebody trying to learn at a master's level want to go back to junior high school with you? You think somebody learning on a master's level want to sit down and talk about colors with you? Suppose they've mastered all that already. But here's this little bitty teacher who still hasn't mastered a damn thing. And you want to teach me as a master level student? Ain't shit you got for me. As a student, I'm higher than you as a teacher. Go sit down over there. You teaching with a bachelor's degree, but I'm in a master's program. Go on somewhere with that shit. Go on. That's not how it works. Y'all got this teaching shit fucked up. And y'all fall for it. That's the shit I don't get. You fall for it. They know just enough. They know just enough not to be ignorant. And then y'all learn from them. And then you turn around 6 months later and go, this motherfucker is a fool. How did you not see that from the beginning? But you wanted the easiest path. You wanted the easiest, cheapest teacher. You get what the fuck you pay for. Because after being with that person maybe 2.5 years, then you find a teacher like me. They messed me up. Yeah, everything she taught you was wrong. And that's how I look at you. You chose. And you chose the easy path. Easy paths usually end up in hard ways. Let me say that again. Easy paths usually end up in hard ways. And do I even look like I care when you come to me with that bullshit? Because I've been a master's level teacher, not student. I chose to go back and be a student because I wanted to relearn my subject matter. It's been about a month. I threw everything I know about Tai Chi out. Like, you can do that. But I threw it all out. I want to relearn. I am right now relearning my Tai Chi. Like, I could unlearn it, but I'm relearning it. I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from my original, because and y'all know I take nothing away from my master teacher, absolutely nothing, but this was even his commandment. Unlearn what you learn and relearn it. Now, my teachings, you will always see my teacher in my movements, because he was my first. He was the foundation in which I set my skills upon. You can never separate a true student from their teacher, of which I am humbly thankful for the rest of my life. I can never get him out of my movements. I can never get him out of my psyche. He's there forever. And I'm forever grateful that he saved a little niglet like me, because I was hard-headed little motherfucker. But that's what good teachers do. Good teachers that know what they are doing find the worst of the worst. They want this shit that everybody else has thrown away and called defective, because that is the only way to show a God characteristic. That you take people's trash, things that people have thrown away and said it was worthless, and you turn it into the most valuable, the most sought after thing. That is a God quality. And I thank my master, because I was hard-headed, just like y'all. Hard-head, stiff back. But I needed to change. I was going to implode. I was so angry. I was so hurt. I was so ostracized. And he took it all away. Layer by layer by layer by layer by layer by layer by layer. Some layers he polished off. Some layers he blew off. Some layers he had to chisel at. Some layers he just greased and they just fell off. But as a student, I had to be pliable enough to allow him to do his art the way he knew how to do it, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was flying by the seat of my pants. I was hoping this man wouldn't drop me off a cliff like everybody else had after me being used. You took my money, you took my time, I took your lessons, and I got nothing. Got nothing in return from some of these groups. Not one fucking thing. I didn't get a cucumber from these groups. And I joined every last one of them. Oh, when I was a Christian, I was a good Christian. When I was Hebrew, I was a good Hebrew. When I was Orthodox Islam, hijab. Oh, it took me a long time because I'm claustrophobic. It took me a minute to get in that booger, but I did it. Now I'm free. Because even in being good, I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing but guilt, ostracism. How you sitting in the mosque on the woman's side, And this is supposed to be a sisterhood. A sisterhood. Let me go and lift Islam's dirty little skirt right quick. Because a lot of y'all don't know that this happens in the temple. And brothers don't know, nor do they fucking care. Because it probably happens on the other side of the curtain too. Yeah, we're all supposed to be Muslim. When we line up, you're supposed to line up foot to foot and arm to arm. So the devil does not come between you. These Arabs, these Muslims, because it was taught to them somewhere. They don't want to touch African Americans. At one point, I was so blatant about it that by the end of prayer, I was basically sitting in horse stance, trying to touch the two sisters next to me with my arms spread out like this. So Shaitan wouldn't come between us. Obviously, these sisters don't want to be touched by a dirty little fucking African American, but we're supposed to be of the same motherfucking people. Man, miss me. Islam is supposed to bring us together. Since when? Since when? You got your Middle Easterners in all black sitting over in that corner. You got who are talking about the African sisters who are all colorful over in that corner, who to themselves, because both of them speak Arabic, so they can even speak to each other. They're talking about the African American sisters in the back. Older sister, you need to be married. You gonna get me a husband? Oh no, my family. They want us in their religion, but they don't want to marry us. Even though marriage is half your deen in Islam. Half. It is half of your fucking obligation. Half. But these are the same people that worked on the slave trade, right? I learned well. I learned very well how to see all of my enemies. Sister, you should be married. To whom? To whom? Do you have a young uncle, a young grandfather, an old grandfather, a cousin, sister? What, you gonna help me? What? I'm just saying it's part of your butt. They'll set up marriages with each other, but not you. But it's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood. You're supposed to be one in Islam. That's your brother, that's your sister. That's your enemy. That's your enemy keeping you well tucked and your money to make sure they know where the fuck you are on a regular. I'm not sure what it's like on the other side of the curtain. But, I've been told that it's pretty much about the same. So I have to ask y'all, who the hell, what are you doing? Did Islam not teach you that that's not right? Or are you just accepting it because you have to accept the short end of the stick every motherfucking where you go because you have had no good teachings? Because according to Prophet Muhammad, color is not supposed to enter into Islam. Nationality is not supposed to enter into Islam. Male and female isn't even supposed to enter into Islam because each Muslim is responsible for themselves. That's why I never understood the idea of your husband has to give you permission to go to paradise. Who? My what? thought it said Allah was the one who knew my heart. So now, instead of being subject to a God, I'm subject to a man? Where the fuck did this come from? But see, if I didn't have a teacher to teach me better than that, I too would probably still be completely hijabbed. Still looking for a husband. Listen to the rut. Still looking for a husband that will not marry me, so I never get to fulfill my whole deen. See how they trap you? Now your mind is fucking racing because you never got married, which means you haven't done half your fucking job in Islam. Now you're condemning yourself. You're condemning yourself for something you, and as women, condemning ourselves for something we have no control over. Because that's completely in a man's realm. Marriage is completely in a man's realm. You can't make a man marry you. And maybe some of y'all can. I ain't never been able to. But maybe some of y'all can. But it's a fucking rut. Peace. How you doing, love? Peace, Eduardo. It's a rut. To keep you chasing your motherfucking tail because they taught you well how to run your battery down. How to kill your fucking psyche. We're just gonna set it up so, hey, it's half your damn deen, so if they never get married because we're not trying to marry them, you put yourself in another psychological man rut. I don't mean no harm, sisters, but sometimes Islam is not your friend. It's kind of another trap. Remember, people that help you aren't necessarily your friend. And people that don't help you is not necessarily your enemy. You must have the power of discernment. And you know, the Islam I was in Michigan, they kept them brothers out of the house for 3 to 6 months. Them brothers wasn't even in their houses. They was out doing other shit. And when I say other shit, no good ever comes from a family man being away from his house, his wife, his kids for 3 to 6 months at a motherfucking time. No good. No good can come of that shit. So basically you're telling Islamic brothers who are black and African American to stay the fuck out of their house half the fucking year. How does that build family? And these goofy motherfuckers are doing it. When did that hit Islam? When was that the way the Prophet worked? When? When? Who are your teachers? And what the hell have they taught y'all? Remember, cons are teachers too, because they have to teach you how to be programmed to be kind. You know this, right? No, you didn't know that? Teachers, are you choosing your teachers well? Does your teacher have a full grasp of the subject matter? Can they come up with an original thought from the subject matter? Not somebody else's thought, not somebody else came up with. Can they close all the motherfucking books? Look you in your face. You ask a question and they give you an answer that you can not only understand, but that you can explain to somebody else. That's a good teacher. That's a good teacher. Those are the teachers you should hold on to. The teachers that don't tell you what to see, but point you to where to find it. Those are the good teachers. Those are the teachers you hold on to. Those are the teachers that you help live. Them teachers that tell you, okay, let me tell you what you're looking at. Not a good teacher. You are not a good teacher. You are not a good teacher. You don't have to tell people what the fuck they are looking at. If you have explained the subject matter properly, people can come to their own conclusions. Y'all stop taking other people's conclusions as your own. Here is the first goddamn lesson in being a good student. Observe and apply. Observe and apply. Observe and apply. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. You do this enough, then it becomes observe, apply, law. You have understood your subject matter to the point that you have concrete ideas on how it acts. So when you get a law, then you can manipulate some shit because you've understood the subject matter. But this takes good teachers. Now don't get me wrong. I said teachers, good teachers come in all shapes, all sizes, all ages, and from all people. And we do need more teachers in this bitch. We need a lot more teachers. We need a lot more teachers and a lot more artists. If you're not raising your children to be teachers or artists, nah, we're lost. But to be a good teacher, you have to be transparent. You have to be transparent or you're fucking up. You're fucking up and you're fucking people up. I know it keeps, wind blows and it just starts. Sorry about that. Please do, Kadeem. It is the method that my teacher taught me. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, law. Then you can start observing the law, applying the law, amending the law. Then it goes to observing the law, applying the law, bending the law. That's when you really got it. When you can manipulate the law. And this is what white folk have been doing for hundreds of years, and it's just that fucking simple. We can get ourselves out of this if we just do the same shit. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. Because this matrix is built on rules. And when you know the rules, you can bend them. You can break them. You can make new ones. But you have to observe, apply, theory. Observe, apply, theory. If I don't teach you shit else today, if I don't teach you nothing else today, all during your day, I need you to hear me saying, observe. Apply. Theory. Observe. Apply. Theory. Then is observe. Apply. Law. Observe. Apply. Law. So if y'all ever see me throw that up, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying somebody's lame. I'm saying I think I got a law. I've observed this to the point I got a law, bitch. Observe, apply. Observe, apply. Theory. Observe, apply. You can't hit theory until you've done observe and apply a few times. Because you need a few of those. It's like the scientific method. You need a few of those before you can even formulate a theory. Now that's forever in print. Observe. Apply. Theory. But remember, you have to do observe and apply a few times before you can come up with a theory. And you have to do observe, apply, and theory a bunch of times before you can come up with law. And you have to do law a few times. And when I say a few times, I'm talking a couple months before you can bend the law. But you have to start somewhere and observe is the first start. And you're not just people think when I'm talking about observation that I'm just talking about observation with your eyes. No, there are a bunch of other ways to observe things. You can use your whole body to observe things. You know, how do you know what's happening behind you? Because I have a complete awareness. You know, my skin is aware. My hands are aware. My ears are aware. My nose is aware. You'd be amazed at how much information your nose picks up. And there are two senses that can hardly ever lie to you. Let me say this again. There are two senses that will hardly ever lie to you, and that is your nose and taste. Your eyes can see things that are not there, but your nose cannot smell anything unless it's there. So you can actually use those two senses to check each other. See how a good teacher shows you? Your eyes can see things that are not there, but your nose cannot detect anything that isn't there. You can only taste what's in your mouth. You can't taste what's not in your mouth. You can think about what it tastes like, but you cannot taste it. It has to be present to be tasted. You can taste the air. A lot of people don't even realize that you can taste the air. I go into morgues, I hardly talk. And I hardly talk for one reason and one reason only. The air tastes funny. But they're dead things in the surrounding area. So fuck yeah, the air tastes funny. I can smell it in the air and I can taste it in the air. But a lot of people don't even know what death tastes like. You know, it's like you get a cut and you lick it, and you get this metallic taste on your tongue. That's not, you're tasting what's in your blood. Metals. Iron. It's really what you're tasting. Iron. But because your taste buds aren't attuned, because a lot of us we do not, be honest, you do not test your taste buds. You don't go there. That's not a training that you do. Yes, Kadeem, you will do that. How many of y'all clean your palates before you start eating? I mean, do you really know how to clean your palate before you begin eating? Because your whole mouth, your tongue has different regions that taste things. That's why you have to move things around your mouth to taste it. You know, sweet is in one part, salty's in another part, sour's in another part. There's a pH testing in the back. There are a lot of things happening on this palate, in this carpet. How many of y'all brush your tongues? You get a cold, you starting to get a cold, you getting mouth sores and shit. Brush your tongue. Clean your carpet. There's a lot of little things coming out of your tongue like this that are sitting out. You can separate them. And just like you clean your carpet, especially if you smoke anything. Ooh, if you smoke anything, you got to keep your tongue clean, because smoke gets in there, tar and everything else, and sits in your carpet. You got bad breath, you got regular bad breath, brush your tongue. Brush your tongue. And that's another thing that teachers do. Teachers bring insight to shit that don't make sense and didn't make sense in the beginning. But teachers bring you the simple, real teachers bring you very simple answers. Einstein used to say, if you can't explain your expertise to a 3-year-old, you're not an expert. I like that. I really like that. I've always loved that saying. If you cannot explain your expertise to a 3-year-old, you're not an expert. Maybe y'all should think about that, because a lot of y'all can't teach your children shit. Teaching is an art. Teaching is an art. So, choose your artists well. Very well. Or you ain't gonna be able to sell them paintings. Crazy. And everybody wanna be a teacher. You know, I have found that the best teachers were the reluctant ones. The ones that be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach. Like DK Moore. I love my sister to death. She is one of my yayas. She's been learning martial arts forever. Black belt, all that. She will not teach. She be the first. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, girl, you can teach. Y'all be vexing people to the point they don't want to teach. And that's why I'm the type of teacher I am. I want you to stay because you really want to be here. And I'm going to test your really want to be here. Because my teacher gave me the option. You can leave whenever you want. Because this is going to get real. And I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to run behind you. Ask my students. They come and go all the damn time. Ask if I follow behind them. No. No. And when you come back, I'll be in the same spot you left me in. Right here. Chilling. Because I know something. You're coming back. My teacher was a master teacher. Now, back to these levels of teachers. How you gonna ask a doctor, a professor who teaches doctors to teach elementary school? This is a teacher that teaches teachers. And you gonna ask them to take a job singing ABCs. Not that kind of teacher. I'm not that kind of teacher. No. 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 When my teacher finally gave me the permission to teach, this is what I told my students. And I was real fucking honest about it. Because I understand the role of teachers. Look, I can only take you so far. I only know so much. I was honest. I only know so much. But when I take you to the point where I can't teach you anymore, you're on my level, I'm going to get you here, then I have to take you to my teacher because I can't take you any further. I was real honest about that. I didn't say, ooh, you going to stick with me forever. And that was, no. I can only take you so far. Then I'm going to take you to him. But I'm going to make sure he doesn't have to do any elementary, junior, high school, or high school shit with you. Since I've graduated high school, I can at least take you to that point. So when they get to him, they college ready. He doesn't have to do not even the undergrad work. He doesn't have to do the elementary work. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Now that you have an idea of what teachers should be and how they should be, now you can discern between your teachers a little better. Again, two of the greatest sayings when it comes to teachers. Einstein, if you can't teach your expertise to a 3-year-old, you're not an expert. Teacher and student is a sacred trust. A student can become family to a teacher very quickly. I find that the relationship between teacher and student usually can transcend age difference, ethnic backgrounds, gender. It's incredible what a teacher and a student do. It is absolutely incredible. So if you're a teacher, hats off to you. Get your skill up. If you're a student, choose your teachers well, because they will become the foundation of the rest of your thinking on that subject matter. You will never be able to get them out of your psyche. You will always have them in you. Just like you got all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. So choose your food and your chef well. I love y'all. Mwah! This is Sister Fundi Fee, and I always got my ear to the street, my ear to the street, my ear to the street. Love y'all. Peace and blessings. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Hey, don't forget, University, it's over there. Hit this like button down here. Oh yeah. And if you can, if you're big, bad, and bold enough, share it. Love y'all. Take care of each other. I'm out.